It's been a very interesting night with the by-elections, and one party that has done surprisingly well, getting 10% of the vote in Kingswood, I think, 10.4 in Wellingborough, was the Reform Party. Their leader, Richard Tice, is here. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Surprisingly well. I mean, no, we're delighted.
I bet you are.
Best two by-election results ever, significantly above the previous record. And look, I mean, we're at or above now what we're the national polling, and that's a significant first for us because that's been the criticism with previous by-elections. We haven't got to that. And basically now, I think with the party, we are seriously coming of age.
Yeah, but the one thing...
We're the third largest party. The Lib Dems have disappeared down the plug hole. And we're heading north, Stephen.
Yeah, but what you've done, in Kingswood particularly, is you've proved Rishi Sunak's point, haven't you? A vote for reform is a vote for Keir Starmer.
We're putting forward our policies. It's not our job to help the Tory party. Our job is to put forward different policies that we believe, frankly, will save Britain. I've been predicting the recession that was announced yesterday since the beginning of the year. I was right on that. You can't grow an economy with the burdens of record-high taxes, record-high wasteful government spending, mass low-skilled immigration and the vast cost of net zero. And I've been saying this, and sadly, I've been proven right. And that's the policies that we're going to put to the people. Completely different plan. And we say this is the only way you can grow the economy and get the country back on track.
But if you split the right-wing vote in the same way at a general election, you are handing the keys of number 10 to Sir Keir Starmer, aren't you?
I'll repeat what I've just said. It's not our job to help the Tory party. It's our job to say there's no difference between the two main parties. They're two sides of a socialist coin of high taxes, low growth, mass immigration, pro-net zero. It's a catastrophe for the country. We're putting forward a completely different agenda. And we hope more and more people will vote for us from any party or no party.
But what's the ultimate goal? And it's the sort of question we put to the Lib Dems over the decades, actually, now, is that what do you actually hope to achieve? Is it about influence or is it about forming government? Because you say great results for you, 10%, 10.4%.
10.4% and 13%.
Oh, was it? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
13%.
13% right. Look, the goal is...
But the point is, you haven't won a seat. And everyone says...
Which is why we share with the Lib Dems the goal of having proportional representation, which is the right electoral system enjoyed across most of the Western world. And if we were polling 13, 15%, then we'd have sort of 80 or 90 seats in the House of Commons. And that means that everybody knows that you've got one vote is equal. So that's part of the goal. And yeah, sure, we want to shape and influence. We want to put forward our policies and we say, look, the country's going to the dogs. Frankly, our policies will save Britain.
Look, great result for you last night, but the Tories will say that people were using this as an opportunity for a protest vote, or they were simply staying at home, and you wouldn't get the same sort of behaviour at a general election.
And they would say that, wouldn't they? Look, the reality is people are not voting...
But there's some truth in that, is there not? The way that people voted yesterday and last night is not the same way they voted at general election.
I disagree. Actually, I think people are realising that they're tired, they're old, they're toxic, they've had their chance, they've blown it. Frankly, they should stand aside now, having messed up. Let me take on Keir Starmer head-to-head. I beat him hands down.
Oh, very interesting. That would be an interesting
You've got to be bullish
debate.
in politics, you've got to be optimistic, and I've got loads of it.
But if what you want to do is change the political landscape, if because of this, and there's a very real possibility of this, that the Tory party turns round and says, look, Mr Tice, we're going to adopt some of your policies on this, particularly when it comes to things like immigration and what have you. We're going to move in that direction ahead of the publication of our manifesto. Would you then do what happened last time, actually, which is step down a load of seats?
They had their chance. No one believes a word they say anymore. They said that last time. We fell for it. We now regret it. We're not falling for that nonsense again. No one trusts them. They know they won't deliver. So we're saying these are the policies, this is the right thing. And there are certain key things, like on net zero, where we are poles apart from the Tory party.
I wanted to ask you about your plan to have a candidate, a Reform UK candidate, in every seat at the general election. And we saw this week with the Labour Party, didn't we, and Azhar Ali, the problem with the vetting process. How are you possibly going to vet that number of candidates in every single seat in this country?
Because we've been doing it for about a year already. So if you look at our website, we've got about 400 candidates already on there. We've got about 300 going through the process. And, yeah, you have to do it. And inevitably, someone somewhere out of 630 will say or write something daft. It's a fact of life. And you then have to quickly assess it. And you've seen it with the Labour Party. You see it sometimes with other parties. And you then make a quick decision. You know, was it beyond the pale? If so, you've got to say, thank you very much, but you're done, you're out of it. And we're very clear on that. So, but we've got a good vetting process, and we're growing every couple of weeks. There's more people being added to our list. So we're ready. Wherever there's an election in May, the summer, or the late autumn, we'll be ready, and we're standing 630. And there's no deals with the Tories. We've done that before. Never again. I still wear the scars on my back.
What do you say to those people? And there are plenty of them who say, right, they might like what you seem to stand for, but it's all not quite, but almost single issue. So what would you do with education? What would you do with the NHS?
I'm delighted you mentioned that, because we've got a big rally, almost 1,500 people in Doncaster a week tomorrow, and we will be releasing the draft of our election contract with the people, which will cover all of these areas in great detail, including costings. So you've just got to wait, 8 days to try and do the maths, and then that will all be put out there. So we'll be the first party out there. We're not calling it a manifesto, because they all break their promises in manifestos. We're calling it an election contract with the people.
A draft election contract. So it gives you a little bit room for manoeuvre before the date's called.
No, because it's a good thing. That's what you do in business. You have a working draft, you send it out to the team. What do you think? Do you like this, and that? You've got that wrong, this right. And that's a very business-like way of doing it.
All right, well, in terms of that business, you did say, it's costed. Is it absolutely costed? Because it's one thing we keep hearing from Labour, because they've fallen foul of this before. Yes, our manifesto will be fully costed.
Yeah, ours is costed. We've got a range of economists and advisors on it. And look, different economists will disagree. And sometimes it depends which models you do. Do you use the HM Treasury model, or do you use different models? We're looking at a range of stuff. So people agree with some of the numbers, they'll disagree with other of the numbers. But in a sense, by doing it as a working draft, that's actually a good thing. You're saying, look, we're not perfect, but at least we're putting it out there, and then people can comment which bits they like and which they don't like.
Yeah, let the people decide.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's what democracy's about.
We're all for that at GB News, that's for sure. Richard Tice, really good to see you. Thank you very much indeed.